What's up, African Diaspora News Channel family? It's your girl, LaSherica, here for our weekend truth session, and you already know I'm gonna break it down with that signature spice. First off, salute to every ADNC subscriber, every OG, and every new member of the fam, wherever you at in the world. Pull up a seat because today we're talking about the real history, the truth they don't want you to know. I'm talking about how Black Americans are the real architects of immigrant opportunity in this country, especially for non-white immigrants. A lot of folks love to talk about the American dream, but let's keep it a buck. Without the blood, sweat, and tears of Black Americans, the doors to that so-called dream would have never even been unlocked for half the world. Yet somehow it's us, the descendants of the struggle, who get the least respect, the least credit, and the most attitude when we ask for what's rightfully ours. Today, I'm putting everybody on notice. The success you celebrate in America is stamped and sealed with Black American sacrifice, and it's high time everybody showed some respect. Let's dig in. Before we get into how Black Americans changed the game, you gotta understand the walls we were up against. America wasn't always the land of opportunity. Not for us, and definitely not for most immigrants. In the early days, this country was all about exclusion, from the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 to the Immigration Act of 1924, which flat out banned people from Asia, Africa, and most of Southern and Eastern Europe. Only folks from Western Europe, especially Anglo-Saxons, were considered fit for America's future. It was the same old story. Keep it white, keep it tight, and keep everybody else out. The doors were closed for non-whites. Asians, Africans, even Southern Italians and Jews caught plenty of that smoke. If you weren't white enough, America didn't want you. And don't let anybody fool you. This wasn't just about skin color. It was about building an economic and political system where all the real power stayed concentrated in the hands of white elites. These laws weren't just pieces of paper, they were brick walls built on top of the Black backs that built this nation for free. Let's be clear, long before anybody dreamed of a diverse America, there was no shot for non-white immigrants. The gates were locked, and the only way in was through centuries of Black resistance, organizing, and unbreakable courage. That's the real root of America's so-called diversity, and it started with us. So, how did things start to change? Let's talk about the original freedom fighters, Black Americans. After emancipation, we didn't just chill out and hope for the best. Our people put boots to the ground for every basic right you see today. The 14th Amendment in 1868, which gave citizenship to all people born in the U.S., was a direct response to the status of formerly enslaved people. It was Black struggle, Black blood, and Black organizing that forced America to even define what citizenship meant. That amendment didn't just help Black folks, it set a legal precedent for everybody who came after us. Suddenly, if you were born on American soil, you were a citizen. That birthright citizenship principle? Thank a Black ancestor. But we didn't stop there. When the Supreme Court tried to block our rights with the infamous Plessy versus Ferguson, separate but equal ruling in 1896, Black Americans were relentless. From the NAACP to the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters to local church groups, our people pushed case after case, year after year, to dismantle white supremacy, legally, politically, and culturally. Every single victory we won, Brown vs. Board of Education, the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, opened cracks in the walls of exclusion. Those cracks got wider every time a Black American stood up, sat in, marched, or risked it all for justice. Without our fight for full citizenship, there is no pathway for immigrants of color. Period. Black Americans did not just fight for ourselves. By fighting for our rights, we redefined what America had to be for everybody. Immigrant, refugee, dreamer, if you got paperwork today, you better thank a Black ancestor. Now, let's get surgical. The real turning point for immigrant access came straight out the civil rights era. You've heard about the marches, the dogs, the fire hoses, the sit-ins. What you might not realize is that every headline, every photo, every tear gas canister that Black Americans endured forced America to confront its hypocrisy on the world stage. See, America was trying to be the global leader, the so-called beacon of democracy, but you can't flex that title while brutalizing your Black citizens on TV. The world was watching, especially during the Cold War. The Soviet Union dragged America through the mud every time there was footage of a Black kid being attacked for trying to go to school. That pressure made Congress act. And in 1964, the Civil Rights Act dropped, then the Voting Rights Act in 1965. But you know what else happened in 1965? The Immigration and Nationality Act, known as the Hart-Celler Act. Act. Before that law, U.S. immigration was capped by race. The law openly discriminated against non-white, non-European immigrants. After Hart-Celler, the racist quotas were gone. The doors cracked open. Guess who made that happen? Black Americans. Our protests, our deaths, our organizing, and our refusal to be silent made America look itself in the mirror. Lawmakers knew they had to change, not because they wanted to, but because we forced them to. And don't get it twisted. President Lyndon B. Johnson signed those bills because he was pushed by the courage and sacrifice of Black Americans, not out of the goodness of his heart. The Immigration Act of 1965 literally rode in on the wave of Black American resistance. Non-white immigrants owe their American dream to the civil rights movement, a movement led, defined, and paid for by Black Americans. From Asian, African, Caribbean, Latino, and Middle Eastern communities, the story is the same. You came here because we opened the door. The blueprint for justice, for fighting against exclusion, for beating the system, that's all us. Here's where the pain comes in. Once the laws changed, the floodgates opened. Millions came, seeking opportunity, safety, and a new start. But somewhere along the way, a whole lot of folks forgot the price that was paid. The faces may have changed, but the foundation was built by Black struggle. Immigrants came and found pathways Black Americans carved out, neighborhoods we defended, schools we integrated, unions we fought to join. Our blood is in the soil of every opportunity you found here. But instead of respect, too often we get shade, stereotypes, and even open disrespect from those who benefited most. People act like the civil rights struggle was just about Black folks wanting equality. Nah, it was about transforming the country into something that would benefit everybody. Whether you just got off the plane last year or your folks been here since Ellis Island, imagine fighting for decades, risking your life, sacrificing your family, then watching folks come in, claim the benefits, and act like you're in the way. That's what's got Black America heated. We open the door and now get treated like the help. This is why delineation is critical. It's about reminding everybody of the real pecking order, the real cost, and the real architects of American access. Let me keep it real with my people for a second. Part of the issue today is that some of us feel tired. We got the battle scars, we're dealing with PTSD from centuries of struggle, and it's easy to look at the new faces and think, let them fight now. But here's the catch. If Black Americans ever choose to truly rest, to fall back for good, the system will slam that door shut again, on us and everybody else. If our ancestors had chosen rest over resistance, there wouldn't be an America that welcomes anybody except the original ruling class. If we rest now, the blueprint dies with us. Every right we earned can be rolled back. Just look at how quick they moved to overturn voting rights, affirmative action, and fair housing laws the second we stop pushing. Black Americans are the soul of progress in this country. When we move, the whole nation shifts. But when we rest, when we get complacent, everybody loses. So, to the immigrants out there, understand, if Black Americans had rested, there'd be no room for your American dream. We built the ladder, we held the door, and we took the blows. Never forget who made it possible for you to thrive. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Why is there so much disrespect toward Black Americans from some immigrant groups? The answer is as old as America itself. Divide and conquer. The system wants new arrivals to believe that distancing themselves from Black Americans is the path to acceptance and success. Mainstream media, politicians, and corporations encourage this division because a unified coalition of all non-white people would be unstoppable. The last thing the establishment wants is for immigrants to see Black Americans as the rightful leaders of social change in America. So what happens? People buy into stereotypes, internalize anti-Black attitudes, and look down on the very folks who paved their way. Instead of recognizing us as trailblazers, some see us as the bottom, forgetting that we're the root of every gain non-white folks have made in this country. This is why the disrespect stings so much. It's not just about bad attitudes, it's about a calculated campaign to erase Black American achievements, to make us strangers in our own house. And we see it, we feel it, we're not having it. So what is delineation and why is it blowing up now? Delineation is about drawing a bold line around our history, our culture, and our contribution. It's not about hate. It's about respect. We're done letting anybody and everybody claim our legacy, co-opt our struggle, or disrespect our ancestors. Delineation is the new movement, a push for recognition, reparations, and credit where credit is due. It's a response to decades of erasure, exploitation, and outright disrespect from folks who wouldn't even be here if Black Americans hadn't changed the rules. It's about telling the world, you don't get to enjoy the house while spitting on the builders. You don't get to rise up in America while looking down on the ones who made your rise possible. Delineation is Black Americans drawing the line and saying, give us our respect, our credit, and our space. This movement is not about closing the door on anyone. It's about making sure everybody knows who unlocked it. Delineation is a call for unity, but with truth, justice, and acknowledgement at the foundation. To the immigrants, understand your place in the American story. You are not here by accident. You stand on the shoulders of giants, Black Americans who refuse to accept second-class citizenship for themselves or for anybody else. Your success is rooted in our struggle. Show respect, build coalitions, stand with us, not above us or against us. Don't let politicians and corporations turn you into tools of division. Remember, the same system that tried to keep us out will turn on you the moment you step out of line. Stand in solidarity and always acknowledge the source of your opportunity. To Black Americans, delineation is about loving ourselves enough to draw boundaries, demand respect, and reclaim our narrative. We're not asking for permission anymore. We are the movement. We are the architects. It's time for us to stand tall, speak loud, and lead with pride. No more erasure, no more exploitation, no more disrespect. Our legacy is not up for grabs. At the end of the day, America would not be what it is without Black Americans. The doors to opportunity, to freedom, to success, to the so-called American dream, all swung open because our people refused to stay silent or stay put. So when you see delineation, understand, it's not about closing doors. It's about making sure the world knows who the real key holders are. It's about reclaiming our respect, our credit, and our space at the table. Let this be a lesson for every immigrant and every American. Acknowledge the struggle, respect the foundation, and never forget who built the house you now call home. This is LaSherica signing off for the African Diaspora News Channel, and you already know, if you want the truth, you come right here to ADNC. See y'all next